Hey everyone, it's Tammy with Beaded Windsocks. When I'm not beading, I'm crocheting. When I'm not crocheting, I'm beading. This is podcast number 9. It's Tuesday, July 2nd. I have been out sick the past almost 2.5 weeks. I am now back and feeling much better. And I'm looking forward to some good things to come up. Okay? First off, this is also my birthday month as well as little one's birthday month. My birthday's in the middle of the month. Hers is at the end. So I'm looking at focusing on her and not worrying about myself, as we are 9 days apart. And we're looking at letting her just have a day to herself for her birthday over in Boise. We haven't decided yet, but I think that's what we're going to go ahead and lean towards. Okay? In my absence, I also finally hit 100 subscribers. Yay! Finally! Ah! Anyway, it was great to see that notification come in that I finally made 100 subscribers. So to all the new subscribers and all the returning subscribers, thank you, hello, and welcome back. Okay, on today's podcast, I have a work in progress. I have a scrapped work in progress. I have a beaded work in progress. Yes, Ella, that's yours. And I also have cake keeper bags and an offer for anyone who might be interested. Okay? And it's going to be up to you. All right? Let's go ahead and start with the beaded work in progress first. Okay. Oh, sorry. I keep the beaded stuff in a recycled ice cream container because it's so small with the supplies that I don't actually need a tote bag for it. I mean, an ice cream bucket without the handle is more than big enough for this. Okay? All right. Ella, here is your Ladybugs at this point. There's enough there now that you can see. Okay? And this is the banner. Okay, so this will be the top. You will have 3 up-facing ladybugs and 1 down-facing ladybug, and that's that one right there. Okay? And I have not been able to work on this since I got sick. So believe me, I'm trying to make up for lost time on this. Okay, it's double duty at this point. All right? Okay. I hope you're pleased with that. Okay. Next is the work in progress scarf that I'm working on. Okay. And I am using this, which I found at my local Walmart. Surprise, surprise. Okay. It is a 3-ounce cake. It is a size 4 yarn. I don't know why that's coming out blurry. 270 yards, 247 meters. And believe it or not, for this to be 3 ounces, and this is my second cake, it's awful big for 3 ounces, even for a 4 weight. Okay? And the one thing I noticed that I also picked up was a 4 weight cotton skein, and it is 2.5 ounces, and you can see the size difference. I mean, really, in ounces. This cannot be 3 ounces. I mean, it's too big for it. The label says 3 ounces. But compared to a 2.5 ounce 4-weight cotton skein, I'm actually surprised. I think this is closer to 4.5, to be honest. Anyway, okay, this is my second cake for that. Here is the project I'm making with it. Okay. And I love how this color is working up. Okay. This stitch marker marks row 4. And I'm supposed to go to row 36 for the scarf. Okay. It's called the Road Trip Scarf by Zooty Owl. ZootyOwl. And she also has one called the Day Trip Scarf, where the spine is shorter, but the ends of the triangle are also longer. And she'll show you that comparison on this particular project. Okay. Oh, sorry. My nose is still doing its thing also. But for the scarf, she says to repeat the pattern for 36 rows. One cake of Ferris wheel gave me 30 so far for the scarf. But she also says to make it into a shawl, add additional rows, which is what I'm going to do because I want more of a shawl than a scarf at this point with this color. I mean, it's gorgeous. It really is. And I'm also going to add on the embellishments the same as hers that she did. And I might need a third cake for this. I will find out after I start adding on extra rows. But it looks like I might need a third cake for the embellishments. And if that's the case, I got to wait till next week. Okay? But again, I love how this is actually working up. And this is Cotton Candy from Ferris Wheel. Okay? It's a nice, easy pattern to follow. I mean, you can whip right through it when you have time. But of course, with a little one around here, sometimes it's just, you gotta work on what you can when you can. Now, as I'm doing both beaded whips and crochet whips right now, when it's bright, sunny, and the sky's clear like it is now, I'll work on the beaded stuff until about 4 or 5 o'clock my time, and then I'll transition over to working on the crochet stuff. So I'm looking forward to getting this one done as along with the cardigans also, because like I said, I had not been able to do anything in 2 weeks. I was only able to work on this starting Friday night, Saturday morning. And because I had overcast clouds for those few days, crocheting is easier to do than trying to see the holes in my beads when I need more light. Okay? All right. Okay. Here is the work in progress that is getting scrapped. All right. 2 weeks ago, I decided I was going to go ahead and try my hand at this type of yarn that's got 4 strands in it. Okay. And there it is. Okay. Oops. All right. This is Red Heart It's a Rainbow in Whysper. Okay, and I'll show you the bottom since it's neater right now. And I wanted to do up the Whysper shawl from the Mother's Day blog hop that Pattern Paradise hosted. Thank you. Beautiful patterns in that blog hop. And there's a current one going on for Splash Into Summer that Nicki of Nicki's Homemade Craft is hosting. And they're on day 2 right now. So you want in on that. Remember, you've only got 1 day, 24 hours to collect the pattern. And follow the steps, because not all of them are at Ravelry. Some of them are on a blog, and you've got to really focus on that. The first one was the Crayola tissue box by Nicki. The new one is a top by Marley Bird, and that ends at midnight tonight, Nicki's time. And I'm not sure if that's central. It might be. And if that's the case, check your clock for that, okay? All right. As I was working with this, the one thing I did do was I used the bead tip. There's my bead on all 4 strands. And this tip did in fact work. I highly recommend this tip. If you're going to work with that yarn that's got like 4 strands in it, put a bead on all 4 strands. It will help guide the yarn so that you don't end up with all of those loose ends, the dangle yarn, or skipping a strand here and there. This will help keep it all together. It does work. That's my recommendation for that tip. Okay, I was working on the Whysper shawl with the Whysper cake, and my only problem was, and I even marked my 6th row so it's easier to count, you know, go on up. My problem is that my point on one end was curling and my point on the other end was going straight. And I went into my bag of tricks on almost anything I could think of to try and get this to not do that. And no matter what I did, nothing was working. None of my tricks were working. I mean, you look at it here and you can see this is curling and this is straight. And my bag of tricks is just not working. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to completely frog this out. I'm going to have to be careful when I do it because I got up to row 14 or 15 when I noticed the issue in the corners and could not figure out how to get it to run more smoothly, like Terry had said in one of our other podcasts about me, that I find tricks and tips, take them to heart, or even come up with my own to try and get a pattern to run more smoothly, and for the life of me for this one, I cannot get it to do that. I really can't. I have tried. So this is going to be frogged, and I'm going to go ahead and find another gradient shawl pattern to try and do, maybe one from Wilma Westenberg. But one issue in the pattern, or discrepancy, depends on how you want to take it. And I have also learned that when you get in touch with designers, sometimes designers don't like you to tell them that there's a problem with their pattern. If I make a pattern, I want to know if there's a problem with it. I want to know if there's an error somewhere, that maybe I missed something while putting it together. And from what I've heard, some designers don't like to be told that there's a problem with their pattern. And the one thing I did do 2 weeks ago, right before I got sick, I had a group of ladies try and follow me along with this in the first 4 rows. And at row 3, the pattern says, in parentheses, 8 single crochets. And we all counted it up. We crocheted it 4 or 5 times, and we still came up with the same thing. Only 6, not 8. So I don't know which is the error, that it was miscounted or that there are 2 single crochets missing in the pattern. Don't know which. But like I said, from experience from other crocheters and so forth, when a designer's been told that there's a problem with their pattern, it's not something that they want to hear. You know, I want to know if there's something wrong with mine. I mean, tell me, you know. But apparently sometimes it's easier just to move on to another pattern, so to speak. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and just frog this out and find another pattern to work this yarn, and see what I can do from there. Okay? Alright. Now, to keep this soon-to-be unruly hot mess from becoming an issue, I made it a cake keeper. And I've been asked about my cake keepers. Okay? These ones are my designs because I do them differently. Okay? And I haven't made the drawstring chain for this one yet. And I'm going to do it in white since this is basically a rainbow. This is Mexicana from Red Heart. And I decided to go ahead and use up this yarn because I think I picked up a very bad skein of this, because there were knots in it, there were flat spots in it, there were thick and thin spots. It's like it was a bad production set that was in there. Okay, so once I make the chain to go around the top, the drawstring, this one will stay in there, and then when I'm ready to use it, I'll be able to pull it out and go to town with it. Okay, here's another one I made, and the drawstring is just the yarn that I put through the eyelets. You can put in a small cake in here, and you can cinch it up, and you can work directly from the cake keeper. Work directly from the cake keeper. It will keep the yarn in place even when it's starting to get limp, loose, collapse. Pick your word, okay? Once it starts collapsing and all, the cake keeper will actually keep it from completely becoming a mess. And I've seen a number of yarn cakes that once they collapse, I mean, trying to keep them together is a challenge in itself. It really is. So that's what I have there. Okay, and this is with the two variegated. They were just scraps, enough to make up this cake keeper. Okay. Now the offer I have, if anyone is interested, you send me a cake or a skein of yarn, and I will make you the cake keeper bags, and I will send them back. That's my offer. Okay? And it's all up to you. And as if and when the cakes and the skeins start coming in, they'll be put on a priority basis of the first ones done. And all of the mail will go out the next time I go to town. Okay? The next time I go to town is the next time all the mail will go out. So if I get, say, 4 people sending me something to make these bags with and send them back, I can get 1 skein or 1 cake used up in a day or 2. So I could have 4 packages ready to go back out in a week. Okay? It's all up to you. I'm not saying you have to. It's just an offer. Take it and run with it. Do whatever you want. Okay? The only thing I will say is that if there's a super small amount of yarn left over, let me know whether or not to keep it and incorporate it into something else, or if you want that little ball back. It's up to you. Okay? And if you would like, I will also go ahead and post the bags completed for that person, so they can see what came of the bags, and that they can see that they are done and that they are in fact on their way. I will even send tracking numbers if necessary. Okay, so as it stands, that's the offer for that. Like I said, it's all up to you. You can either mail to the address in the description box, or you can message me on Facebook first, and we can discuss details and further there. Okay, like I said, it's all up to you. I'm not going to say you have to. I'm not going to say it's best. It's your choice. Okay, your decision, your choice. Have fun with it. Okay, I mean, with a little one around here, sometimes I have nothing better to do than sit here and make a bunch of mesh bags. Okay. If you want a couple of the bags big enough to hold the long skeins of yarn, like the red heart, let me know so I can do that bag first, or those bags first, and then make the small cakes keepers for the smaller ones. If you want a specific size, let me know which cake it's for, like the Ferris wheel, the mandala, the cupcake, the DK color. Okay, let me know the size of those cakes, and I will get the bags more than big enough to fit around those cakes, so that way you don't have to worry about it. Okay, right now I'm just using up some scrap yarns that I picked up or that my sister sent me, and I'm just tying them together and making up these bags. They really do come in handy, especially inside your project bags, where you can keep the yarn from getting caught on anything in other projects. And it's a lot. I enjoy making them, and I can literally make 3 of them in an afternoon for me, because I already have my system in my brain set up to my pattern, and I can just whiz right through them. Okay, so that's the offer, and it's all up to you. All right. Okay, as it stands, I'm coming up on 21 minutes now, so I will go ahead and let everybody go. Again, I am feeling much better. I am doing much better. And before I bid everyone farewell, everyone have a safe and joyous 4th of July. Okay, be safe, have fun, and I look forward to hearing back from everyone next week. And now that I am back, I will try to get back to doing things weekly again. Probably record on Tuesday and then upload by Thursday, depending on what's going on in the schedule. Okay, and progresses will be kept going. So we're going to have some fun. So I hope everyone just takes care of one another and all. And as a reminder from some of the other people and some of the new podcasts that I have subscribed to and all, also remember, be kind to one another. We're all here for each other. So let's be kind and just be as sweet as we can, okay? That's it for now on this podcast, so I'll let everyone go. Take it easy. Have fun. Farewell. See you next time. Bye-bye.